Hi boys and girls, this is Mr. Ibarra again. Okay, so for today's math lesson, you are going to need your math book, a pencil, you're going to need your work mat number 2, the double 10 frames, and you are going to need your red and yellow counters. So go get your items, press pause on the video, come back and push play when you are ready. Let's review our learning objective for today. It says, I can make 10 to add. Let's read that again. I can make 10 to add. So now we have our work mat, we have our counters here, and let me give you a problem to solve. Okay, so what if we had something that looks like this? What if we had some dots up on the top, and let's say we had 7 dots on the top, and let's say we have some more dots on the bottom. Let's say we have 4 of these dots on the bottom. So I have 7 of these red dots, and I have 4 of these yellow dots. So how can I solve this problem? Well, one way to do this is to move some of these dots around to fill up my 10 frame. And so I want to fill up a 10 frame because if I have a full 10 frame and it has dots in every single box, I know that there are 10 dots, right? When there is a full 10 frame. I don't need to count each dot inside of a 10 frame when the 10 frame is full because I already know that that's 10. So I'm going to move some dots over, right? So now that is easier. I know that this is what? That is 10, and I have 10 and one more. That makes 11, right? So that is an easier way to count. Okay, so let me show you that again. So in other words, I could have 7 plus 4 equals a number, right? Or I could say, instead of 7 plus 4, I could make this into what? Yeah, that's right. I can make it into 10 plus 1. Now, which one is easier to solve, the 10 plus 1 or the 7 plus 4? The 10 plus 1, you're right. So I know that 10 plus 1 is 11, but that also means, since it has the same number of dots, they're just in a different order, that just means that 7 plus 4 is also 11. Okay, so did you see that it's a lot easier to add by tens? Yeah. Okay, so let's do another one, okay? Let's do another one. So how about if I have something different? So let's say we have 8 on top. Okay, so let's put 8 dots on top. Okay, so put 8 dots on your 10 frame as well, of the red ones. Okay, so now I have 8. Now, what about if on the bottom we had 4? How about on the bottom if we have 4? Okay, so now this, you could say that it is what? 8 plus 4. Okay, but that is kind of a hard problem to solve. I think that it's easier when we fill up the 10 frame, because I know that adding by 10 is a lot easier. So let's move a couple of the dots over. Great. Do that on yours as well. And so now instead of 8 plus 4, what do we have? We have 10. I don't need to count those because I know there's 10 in there. 10 plus what? Plus 2. So let's write that. 10. I'm going to write that just so we can visualize it. Plus 2 is a number. So what's 10 plus 2? 10, 11, 12. 10 plus 2 is 12. So that means if 10 plus 2 is 12, 8 plus 4 is also 12. Because we didn't add or subtract any more dots, we just moved them around in our double 10 frame. Great. So do you see how it's a lot easier to make 10 and add? What I like to do, I like to call these friendly 10s. Right? We always want to have friendly 10s to add. That makes it a lot easier. So now, open up your book to page number 249, and we're going to get started. So, there are 9 counters in the yellow 10 frame. So let's put 9 counters right here, shall we? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there are 5 counters in this purple 10 frame. So let's put 5 counters in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I want to do is I want to fill up my 10 frame. So what can I do? That's right. I can move some of these up here to fill up that 10 frame. So let's do that. Let's move it over. Okay, cool. Now that 10 frame is full. So now I know that I have 10 up here. Now I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there are how many counters? There are 14. Great. So make sure you write that on the answer right there. Okay, now let's take these away and let's turn the page. And it says, you can make a 10 to help you add. And it says 9 plus 2 is equal to something, or 10 plus 1 is equal. Right? So right here they have 9, and they're going to move one over, and that makes it, what? If you move it over, that makes it 11. Right? So 10 plus 1 is 11. Or 9 plus 2 is 11. Okay, so let's use our work mats to do these. Okay, so we're going to use our work mats. So it says that they have 7 and 5. So I'm going to use my work mat to do these. Okay, because I like using my work mat so I can see what I'm doing. All right. So if I have 7, if I have 7 of these, so let's put 7 on the top, and then if I have how many on the bottom? That's right, if I have 5, so let's put 5 on the bottom. Okay, so that's 7 and 5, but we want to make a friendly 10, so let's make a friendly 10. Okay, we're going to fill this up. Okay, so now I have 10. And how many? 10 and 2. So let's write that over here. 10 and 2. What's 10 plus 2? That is 12, right? Because we have 10, 11, 12. So if this is 12, then I know that 7 plus 5 also has to be 12. All right, because we didn't add any extra dots or take away any dots. We just moved them around. So that means that there's still 12 dots. No matter which way I put them. Okay, let's do a new one. So this one says we have 8. So let's put 8 of these counters, red counters on the top. Okay, and so we have 8. And then it says we have how many counters on the bottom? 7. So let's put 7 of the counters, yellow counters on the bottom. Okay. And now, 8 plus 7, that's kind of a hard one to add. So let's try to make it 10. So let's move some of these over. I'm going to move some of these over. And I can move those. Okay. So see, I moved some of these dots over. And now I have 10 on top. So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right? Because I had 5 on the bottom, 10 on top, 5 on the bottom, and that makes 15. So that means if 10 plus 5 is 15, 8 plus 7 also has to be 15, because I did not add or take away any dots, I just moved them around. Great. Okay, so now let's do this part right here. So this is the on my own. Okay, so you're going to have to do page 251 and 252 on your own. You may use your 10 frame and your counters to do these and use the strategy of making a friendly 10. So go ahead and do those. Pause the video, and then when you are ready for the answers, push play on the video. Okay, great, you are ready. All right, so let's see. I'm going to use my 10 frame to help me, and it says 9 plus 3. So let's put 9, let's put 9 of these on the top. Did you do that? 9 on top? Okay, great. And then how many should I have on the bottom? 3, that's right. So let's put 3 on the bottom. So 9 and 3, well, it's easier to make this a friendly 10, so I'm going to do that. So now I have 10 on the top. How many do I have on the bottom? 2, right? So 10, 11, 12. So that makes 12. So 9 plus 3 also has to be 12. Okay, great. Now let's do a new one. Ready? Okay, now it says to have 7 on the top. So I have 5, 6, 7 on the top. And how many should I have on the bottom? I need to have 4 on the bottom. Okay, so let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I have 4 on the bottom. But I want to make a friendly 10. Okay, so let's move some of these up. Great, so now I have 10 on top. And how many do I have on the bottom? I only have 1 on the bottom. 10 plus 1, that's easy, that's 11. So I know that if 10 plus 1 is 11, 7 plus 4 also has to be 11. Fantastic. Great job. Okay, so now let's do the next one. And it says 9 and 6. So let's put 9 on the top. Great. All right, put the 10, fill up that 10 frame with 9 dots. And then on the bottom, I need to have how many? 6. So let's do that. Let's put 6 on the bottom. Just putting 6 right there. Okay. So now I want to make a friendly 10. So I'm going to add it. Add this dot up there and maybe move these over here. So now I have 10 on top, and how many on the bottom? That's right, 5, because I know that if I have one row, that is 5. 10 plus 5, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15. Okay, so that means 9 plus 6 is also 15. Great. Okay, so now let's do the next one, and this one says 8 on top, and how many on the bottom? 5, so let's put 5 on the bottom. Okay, so now let's make a friendly 10. So let's move these up. You now I have a 10 on top. And how many do I have on the bottom? I have 3. 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay, so that means 8 plus 5 is also 13. Now 10 plus 3 is a lot easier to add than 8 plus 5. Okay, so now we have 8 on top again. We'll do this next one. We have 8 on top again. And how many on the bottom? We have 4 this time on the bottom. Okay, so let's put 4. Now we want to make a friendly 10, so we're moving these up. So now I have 10 on top. And how many do I have on the bottom? 2. That's right. I have 10 and 2 more. That is 12. Did you get 12? Fantastic. And 8, that means 8 plus 4 also has to be 12. Because I'm not adding any more dots, I'm just moving them around. Okay, fantastic. Now this one says 7. So let's have 7 dots up on top. And how many on the bottom? 6. So let's put 6 dots on the bottom. Okay, so that's 6 dots. But what do I want to do? I want to make a friendly 10. So let's move these up. Now I have a friendly 10, and so I have how many dots down here? I have 3. So I know 10 and 3 more is 13. That's right. So that means 7 plus 6 also has to be 13, right? Because it's still the same number of dots. We just moved them around. So that's why these are the same answers. Great. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. And it says, use your work mat 2 to solve. Okay, so we're going to use our work mat to solve again. So it says Don has 8 goldfish. He gets 5 more. How many goldfish does he have now? So we know Don has 8 goldfish. He gets 5 more. And we want to know how many he has now. So they already did some of the work for us. They said 8 plus 5. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do 8 plus 5. So let's put 8 on top. Okay, we'll put 8 on top, just like this. Make sure that there's one counter in each of the squares. And then plus 5, so let's put 5 counters on the bottom. Okay, and so we want to make a friendly 10. So let's move some of these dots. So now I have 10, and how many do I have on the bottom? 3. So 10 plus 3 is 13. That means 8 plus 5 also has to be 13. And he has how many goldfish? 13 goldfish. Fantastic. Okay, so let's do the next one. And this one says, 6 pigs are in the mud. 5 more join them. How many pigs are in the mud? So we know that 6 pigs are in the mud. 5 more join them. How many pigs are in the mud? Well, they already did some of the problem with it for us. So let's use our doubles 10 frame to help us. And it says 6 on top, 5 on the bottom. So let's do that. 6 on top. So the 6 red ones on the top. Make sure each one is inside the box. And how many on the bottom? 5. So let's do that. Let's do 5 of the yellow ones on the bottom. Okay, so now of course we want to make a friendly 10. So let's move some of these up to the top to make a friendly 10. So now I have 10 on top, and how many on the bottom? 1. That's right. So 10 plus 1, that's 11. That's easy. So that means 6 plus 5 also has to be 11, and he has 11 pigs. Okay, did you get that? Awesome. Okay, so now let's move this to the side. And it says to write math. Explain how to make a 10 to add using 10 frames. So how are we using our 10 frames to make the friendly 10? Well, what have we been doing to make a friendly 10? Right? We have been moving some dots, right? So we've been moving dots. So if we have something like this, right? We've been moving some of the dots from the bottom to the top to make a 10 frame. We've been filling the 10 frame to make 10, right? So let's write that. So what have we been doing to make a friendly 10? Well, we move, let's see, we move dots to the top 10 frame, right? To the top 10 frame. to make 10, right? We fill up that 10 frame to make 10. So we move dots to the top 10 frame to make 10. Okay, boys and girls, that is all for today. So make sure that you turn in this page 251, 252 into Seesaw. And I'll see you later. Bye.